One of the most satisfying feeling in the world is to meet your expectations. For over a year, we knew Gear 5 animation was coming. And for 2 months, Toei Animation made the daring claim that we are gonna deliver the greatness that you expect. And it brings me a tremendous joy to admit they did deliver it. Gear 5, the final form of Luffy and his pinnacle of power. The awakening of the devil fruit of Joy Boy, which carries the will of Sun God Nika, is finally here. We, One Piece YouTubers, always praise Oda, but this time I will give all of my respect to the director and animators of this episode. Cause I may still have some mixed feeling about the concept of Gear 5, but I have nothing but respect for the collective endeavor behind this episode. But in this video, I'm gonna talk about all the powers that Luffy has in his Gear 5 and the possible power that this devil fruit has. How do I know this? Cause the foundation of all great stories are mythology. And now, with the help of the rich Chinese folklore and Hindu scriptures, I will reveal all that there is to come. So don't forget to subscribe because this is my second channel, and let's start. Ladies and mostly gentlemen, One Piece would never be the same because Gear 5 is here. Before now, Luffy was just a robber boy who defeated his enemy by robbing one out. But in this newly found godly form, he is the embodiment of freedom and a reality bender, who now has to carry 800 years of history on his shoulders. So where is the limitation of his powers? Since we want to talk about the origin of Luffy power, let's pay an homage to Goku. Oda went on record saying that he wanted to be a shonen writer cause of Dragon Ball. And he admitted that Luffy, just like many other shonen heroes, is inspired from Dragon Ball and Goku. Before talking about what he will do, let's talk about what he has already done in his new form. He has the magic touch that can turn everything to rubber. Not just physical objects, but mass level of energy like lightning and fire. Turning himself to an island-sized monstrosity that can bitch-slap a flaming, raging, roaring dragon Kaido and send him to abyss also comes handy. He created a glass out of his hair, meaning he actually has the power of creating things out of nothing. A true godlike power. He was also able to fully tank a Conquer-based Haki fuse attack of Kaido. And although the exhaustion and the fatigue caused by this form can make Luffy age up, unlike Gear 4, he is able to recover to full power on a very short span of time. No wonder it took hundreds of years for this power to be awakened again. If One Piece told us anything, is that no big treasure can be found easily. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about Chinese folklore. True, Luffy is inspired by Goku and Gear 5 honestly look like a Super Saiyan. But both Luffy and Goku are obviously and directly inspired by the mightiest hero of Chinese folklore. A beast who wears 7 layers of immortality, and the most influential demon in the history of mankind, second only to Satan, who wasn't originally a demon. You guessed it, I'm talking about Mr. Monkey King himself, Sun Wukong. The beast who single-handedly dominated all of the heavens and its generals and gods. The true unstoppable force of nature. It took Buddha himself to humble him and guide him to the right path. He fought almost every major Chinese figure. And he is the symbol of human instinct. The irrational gods that all of us have and trust. And knowing Monkey D. Luffy is almost a new Sun Wukong can give us many ideas about the powers that he has in his final form. Here are 3 powers that I know Luffy will show by the end of the story thanks to Sun Wukong. Of course that this beast, Sun Wukong, has just so many countless powers, but 3 of them are absolutely perfect for Gear 5 Luffy. The first of his power is the most iconic one, and it's the one that Naruto used it, and you better believe it. Of course I'm talking about the capability of making clones out of yourself. Now I get it that Kagebunshin no Jutsu is not something that we want to see from Luffy as well. And we want every big name shonen hero have his own signature attack. But it was a famous power for Sun Wukong to just pick up a hair and make a clone out of himself. Looking at the magical white flamey hair of Luffy, I would say why not? This would be a perfect power for him as well. Another famous power of Sun Wukong was 72 types of transformation. Knowing that Gear 5 is all about freedom and Luffy can do whatever the hell he wanna do with his body. We could very well see later on Luffy change his physical body to other beasts and demons. He already can do that, but he keeps his own main physical form. What if he just turned to a dragon, a monster, snake, wolf, or whatever? And the final thing that Luffy has to do, in my opinion, is flying. Sun Wukong could fly with the help of a magical cloud, and Goku had the very same cloud in a very early Dragon Ball as well. Now, I'm not saying that Luffy should do it in a very same way, but knowing that he again is a reality bender, he can very well create that type of cloud for him to be able to fly. Honestly, if Big Mom and Kaido can fly, why not Gear 5 Luffy? Now I wanna get greedy and say that Luffy perhaps one day will use a weapon other than his trusty sandals, but I'm not sure about it. Even though the Sun God Nika himself used a blade and some sort of club just like Sun Wukong. So at the final stage of One Piece, if Luffy truly wants to resemble Sun God Nika, he might use one of those weapons as well. The thing that I truly love about older stories is that they never end in one place and you can always find an older version of a same story. Because of course, even Sun Wukong is inspired by somebody before him. And it is kinda ironic because in the journey to the west, Sun Wukong goes to India. But in fact, he is also inspired from a Hindu god. Now, anime only might say, well, this twist came out of nowhere. I really did not see this coming and Luffy being a sun god. Or they might say that we never expected this Gomu Gomu no Mi basic devil fruit be a godly devil fruit related to sun god. And here, in behalf of Oda, I wanna say, bitch please. In the technique of foreshadowing and twist, I could safely say that Oda is one of the all-time greatest in a history of humankind. You really expect him to give this twist without a proper foreshadowing? The foreshadowing started from chapter 1. Because now I'm gonna tell you the brief introduction to this god, Lord Hanuman, the boy who ate the very sun. You see, the young Lord Hanuman from Hindu scriptures was the one who ate the sun, and he almost died for this crime and mistake. But his father, Lord Vayu, a Hindu Persian god, stopped this event by taking away air from existence. And when wind god Lord Vayu, I'm saying it again, wind god Lord Vayu came to play, rest of the gods showed mercy to Lord Hanuman. And later on, adult Hanuman was the man who considered to be above his master Ram, and the original Monkey King in mythology, and a wise kingly god who brought strength and iron will to all who follows him. And Luffy, Wukong, and so many shonen heroes are indirectly or directly inspired from Lord Hanuman. Again, this god has so many countless powers, but for the sake of this video, let's say 3 of them that Luffy will gonna have by the end of this story. The first power that he has, and Luffy already unlocked many aspects of it, is the full control over his own physical body. I'm talking about size and weight control in an absolute version, meaning Luffy can be the smallest or the biggest creature in One Piece world if he fully control his Gear 5. We already know he can be a tiny creature if his Gear 3 ran out of the time. And only after half an hour of using Gear 5, he shapeshift to an island-level monster. And honestly, who's to say that that's the maximum of Gear 5 capabilities? But above that, he can control his weight, be absolutely weightless, or be as heavy as 10 or 100 mountains combined. Now, of course, Oda cannot go crazy and make Luffy so strong that the magic system of One Piece world be meaningless and Luffy be by far the strongest character ever, but he can show these powers by a reasonable limit in the story. The second power that he has, just like many other Hindu gods, is the power of creation and destruction. And as I said, Luffy already showed this type of power in a smallest version possible by creating a glass out of his hair. At the moment of greatest need, he perhaps can create every type of weapon that he needs at the moment to fight against all type of adversaries. As I said, I truly want to live long enough to see the day that Luffy use a weapon in a fight. And he don't even need to borrow a weapon, he can just create one. And perhaps he can destroy things by barely touching them. I mean, if his magic touch can grab lightning and turn that to a rubber who is still act like a lightning, why not he could be able to destroy physical objects by merely touching them? If Luffy wanna be a sun god, he probably should be able to do some godlike powers like this on small levels. And finally, Lord Hanuman was blessed by many gods, and one of those blessings is that he can breathe underwater, the power that no other devil fruit user have, and I would say it would be a perfect power for Joy Boy. I always said there should be a solid reason why titans like Roger, Shanks, and Garp refuse to eat a devil fruit, because if they eat one, they would become the strongest character in the story by far immediately. I don't think Shanks loves swimming that much that he refused to eat a godlike devil fruit and be able to rule all the seas with ease. No. At the end of the story, some sort of limitation should exist for devil fruit users. Perhaps reaching to One Piece itself required the capability of swimming. But it is extremely stupid to assume the main character of the story cannot reach to Laugh Tale because he cannot swim. So what if, in the awakening form of Gear 5, he can swim without being drowned? If the god of ocean cursed all the devil fruit user, I believe the god of sun could perhaps do an anti-curse on this very specific devil fruit, making Luffy the only devil fruit user ever who can swim. If Teach can be called the only devil fruit user who can eat 2 devil fruit at the same time, there should be an exception to the rule of not swimming, and who better than Luffy to be that exception? These are the 3 powers that I believe Luffy will borrow from Lord Hanuman in his Gear 5 form. Gear 5 is a miracle in One Piece world, and it will give Luffy the momentum to be the Pirate King of the story and be the one who will overthrow Im-sama after 900 years of ruling over the entire world. Even the manga readers have no absolute clear idea about where the limitation of this devil fruit ends. To be honest, I do not love the concept of overpowered devil fruit, but many magical and yet different capabilities for one devil fruit can make Gear 5 fighting so much fun to watch. I hope you enjoyed this immensely legendary episode of Gear 5 and this video. Once more, do not forget to subscribe, we have so much more videos to come, and I see you all at Laugh Tale.